Good morning, Year 4, and welcome to Week 6 Online Spelling. I hope that you had a really enjoyable weekend and that you are ready to kickstart our week with a bit of spelling. Now, this week we are learning to use the digraph N, the graph N, the digraph NN, and the digraph KN, which all make the sound N. So yes, I have made it a little bit tricky, and you are focusing on 3 different spelling rules. However, they are all just focusing on the one singular sound, which is N. Let's get started. Oh, I almost forgot. This week, I have created a little bit of a, I suppose, fun little finder word message throughout these slides. So on each slide, I have added and included a little letter somewhere on the slide, and when you put all those letters together, they will create a message that I have left for you all. So I hope that you enjoy our little lesson, but also the little added bonus of trying to figure out what the secret message is that I left for you. Okay, let's get back to our lesson. So the first word we are looking at today is the word no. Can you please say the word no? Now, this word no is actually defined as being aware of something through observation, inquiry, or information. This word I have included in our lesson this week because it is a word that is very commonly spelt incorrectly or used incorrectly in our writing. So this word is when you know something. And if you look at the sentence I've put it in, it says, I know facts and details about an Australian Olympian as I conducted research. And this little illustration up the top here is kind of representing that too. She's got all her little books around her and a magnifying glass. And so she has got her finger up saying she knows something. Please be careful when you are using this word. It is not just N-O. N-O, which spells no, is meaning that you are disagreeing with something. This no, K-N-O-W, means that you have knowledge about something. Okay, so let's look at the sounds we can hear. We can hear the sounds N-O, and the letters are K-N-O-W. We can see that the KN digraph is part of our spelling focus for this week, and it is making the singular N sound. But we can also see that the digraph OW is making the singular O sound. And this is why people make the common mistake. But we need to remember and start learning to use the word no with the correct spelling. So KNOW. What part of this word do you think you need to remember? Perhaps it is the digraph KN, which is making the N sound. And it may also be the digraph OW, which is making the O sound. Perhaps you may need to just remember that when you are using this word know, as in to say, I know something, that you do have the K and the W at the end. All right, have a turn at spelling the word no without looking at it. The next word we will be looking at this week is the word sense. Can you please say the word sense? Now this word comes from our orange word column. Sense is defined as the way the body perceives an external stimulus such as sight, smell, hearing, taste, and touch. And you can see in this little illustration, the little child is using her sense of smell and her sense of touch to have a smell of the lavender that is growing. Now, the sentence I have put the word sense into today is, the bear has a keen sense of smell, which enables it to hunt at dusk. Now, you might notice that the word sense does sound like other words that we have looked at. It sounds a bit like the word cents, as in I had 50 cents, which is spelled C-E-N-T-S. And this word is called a homophone. So it's where it sounds like another word, but it has a completely different spelling and a completely different meaning. All right, let's look at the sounds that we can hear. We can hear the sounds s, e, n, s, sense. And the letters are S-E-N, S-E. S-E-N, S-E. So you need to remember that this S-E digraph is making that S sound. So for the most part, this is a word that we can sound out as long as we remember the meaning of it. So if we're writing something, or if we're having a conversation with someone and we're talking about our senses, so our sense of touch or smell or hear or eyesight, that we have to remember that it is S-E-N-S-E. All right, what part of this word do you need to remember? I have underlined the singular graph N, which is making the N sound, because that is part of our focus for this week. However, you may also like to remember that the SE digraph is making that S sound. All right, have a turn at spelling the word sense without looking at it. I wonder who has been paying attention to the little letters on each of the slides. I wonder how you're going at decoding the secret message I have left for you. All right, let's look at the final word that we will be analysing this week. And this comes from our green word column. The word is cinnamon. Can you please say cinnamon? Cinnamon is defined as an aromatic spice made from the peeled, it should say dried, and rolled bark of a Southeast Asian tree. Now, I've also put it in a sentence down here which says, one of my favorite sweet treats is a cinnamon scroll. And yes, this is very true. Especially when I went to America, I think that's where I had the best ever cinnamon scroll. And there's a little picture of what they look like in the top here, just in case you've never had one before. And like I said, this should say dried. Again, I have made a little bit of an error here, but it should spell D-R-I-E-D. That was just a spelling error, a typo. Okay, let's look at the sounds and letters. The sounds we can hear are S, I, N, A, M, E, N. Cinnamon. So we'll say that one more time because it's a bit of a long word. S, I, N, A, M, E, N. Cinnamon. We can see in this word that the digraph NN is making the singular N sound. And we can also see that the graph O is making the E sound, as in men. However, we do spell it as mon. Now, at the beginning here, I could have actually put the letter S here, as that is the sound that we are making, the S sound. However, we all know that the letter C quite often makes the S sound as well, as in circus, as in cyst. So that's why I did put a C there, but I very much could have put an S because it is making the S sound. So the letters we have are C-I-N-N-A-M-O-N. C-I-N-N-A-M-O-N. Cinnamon. Now, if it's easier for you to remember, perhaps when you're saying it to yourself as you're spelling it, you might like to pronounce it as cinnamon, so you can remember that it's the letter O that is actually making that E sound. Okay, what part of this word do you need to remember? I have underlined the digraph NN, which makes the N sound, as that's part of our spelling focus for this week. However, you might need to remember that the letter O is making the E sound, and the letter C is making the S sound. Okay, have a turn at spelling the word without looking at it. Remember what our spelling focus is for this week, as that may help you with that N sound in the middle of the word. Okay, that brings us to the end of our mini spelling lesson for this week, Year 4. I wonder, Did you figure out the secret message? If you think you have, I would love it if you could please leave a message on Google Classroom for your teacher, advising them of what you think the secret message is. Remember, it is okay if you missed a letter or two and got it a little bit wrong. It was just for a bit of fun and to see who was paying attention. Now, I have also included another fun Kahoot for you to participate in this week if you wish to do so. It is somewhat similar to last week's Kahoot, but with some different questions and obviously different spelling words for you to look at. Alrighties. Oh, don't want to be clicking on that. Okay, let's look at the words that you will be learning this week. In the red column, we have the word anything, dinner, knee, no, and until. In the orange column, we have sense, beginner, captain, ocean, and connect. In the green column, we have necessary, announce, knowledge, cinnamon, and business. And in the personal column, we have biodegradable, blasé, brevity, brilliance, and brusque. Now, can I please ask that if you come across a word this week that you don't know the meaning of, please don't just continue spelling it. Actually do a little bit of an inquiry-based learning and type it into Google and read what the definition says. Also, on top of that, if you don't know how to pronounce some of these words, Google has a really great little option now where if you type the word in, you can actually press on the little, little speaker thing, and it will actually pronounce the word for you. Given it is a computer generated voice, it still, however, shows you how to pronounce it correctly. So especially if you are working on the personal words this week, some of these words are quite tricky. Now, this word is not blaze or blaze, it is blasé, and it has a little apostrophe up the top because that represents that it is the origin of the word is not from the English speaking language. So have a little look at that. But like I said, part of being a great speller is one, being able to spell the words and being able to apply the spelling focus rules that we are teaching you. But another important element of being a great speller is actually understanding and knowing what the words mean. All right, I hope you enjoy your Kahoot. I hope you enjoyed the little added secret message that I included this week. And I wish you all the best on your spelling journey. Happy spelling, Year 4. Bye.